Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is a timeless reading, which means whenever you happen to be watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember that the first card that came out today is this Six of Swords, okay? Now, it just kind of flipped over in my hand, so I think that's going to be significant. And that's a very good card. Also remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you, okay? Now we're going to do our Dove and Serpent spread. And as I lay these cards out, I would also like to say that if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments, okay? I'm going to finish up with the Path of the Serpent. Oh, these are beautiful cards, beautiful cards. We're going to do a mystery card, a bonus card, a confirmation card. And this card is going to hopefully tie everything together at the end of the reading. Oh, that one almost flipped over too. We're going to put it right under the frog, okay? Nice, safe place. And we're not going to look at it till the very end, and hopefully it will tie everything together, okay? But we'll see. All right, we have no major arcana. That's interesting. That's kind of odd. Usually we have at least one. This is a strange one. I'll say that. We've got some earth, some air, some fire, some earth. Okay. We have some fire, some air, some water, some air. A little bit of water. That's okay, a little bit of water. The water that we have, I should say, is all of the water. The Ace of Cups. It's the source of all of the water. Okay. Let's keep that in mind. The first thing that we see is the Six of Swords that just kind of popped out of the deck and said, hey, look at me. So, okay, we'll look at it. You are someone, right now, I feel like you're very much in your planning kind of energy. You're very organized. I think that you are, you're making a blueprint. I almost feel like you're plotting your course. I don't think that you have yet taken action with this, but you're planning it out. You're making the map, you're getting your coordinates, you're plotting your course, doing all the math, right? I'm terrible at math. But you're not. You're good. You've got this balance about things. You've got this kind of peaceful clarity. And whatever you're doing, I feel like you're writing a lot. Right? Maybe you're left-handed like I am. I feel like you're writing a lot down. You're planning things. Maybe you're using pencil. Maybe you're erasing over here, and you're drawing something different. You're plotting something different. I feel like there's a lot of revision. I feel like there's a lot of editing, but not really like a censoring yourself kind of editing, but just correcting little mistakes. Maybe you misspelled a word or something, or used the wrong word, or transposed something, you have to fix it. But I don't know what you're working on, but I feel as if you want to get it just right, I think it has a lot of risks. I think that you're aware of how difficult this is going to be to execute, and what the chances are for failure, and what failure is going to mean to you, right? So with the Six of Swords, it's a lot of clarity. It's a lot of balanced, calm, very harmonious, very peaceful. I get this really peaceful vibe from you. But like I said before, there's no major arcana energy here. So it's a little bit strange. I feel maybe that you're waiting for that. You're waiting for the major arcana. You're waiting for the kind of the divine green light. You maybe the the great editor in the sky. You know, you're waiting for them to give the final approval of things. Say, okay, it's ready to print. Because there's no major arcana. So up top here, we've got a 6 of wands, right? Let me see, do we have any other 6s? No, we've got just these 2 6s. And these are great cards. The 6 of wands is showing, this is kind of showing me what you're looking for, because it's at the top of the path of the dove. So let's put the 6 of swords down. The 6 of wands, you're kind of looking for this, right? And I think this is for the resonance. This is for that certainty coming from, seemingly coming from the heavens, coming from out there, that tells you, yes, this is time. The world is right for this. Now's the moment, you know. Now's the time. Because the 6 of wands is the doubling of the 3, right? And the 3 of wands is all about your internal spiritual force, fire, your certainty, your integrity, your character, right? Being completely right with yourself, you know? And we double that. We want the universe, we want the world around us, the environment, the situation we're in, the climate of, you know, the social climate or whatever. You want that to be just right so that you can vibrate and resonate at the same frequency. And this plan will come off without a hitch. It'll be successful. So I feel like we're kind of waiting for that sign, that synchronicity. We're waiting for that spiritual green light. Okay? And I think in the meantime, you're just going to continue to plan and edit and tinker. This card is ruled by Mercury in Aquarius. Okay, now I'm no astrologer, but I know Mercury, and I'm somewhat familiar with Aquarius. I feel like what you're working on is very forward-thinking. It's very progressive. I think it's really going to be something new. It's going to be some kind of an expansion of an existing system or an existing trend. It's going to be something that's not completely different from what's already in the world, but an outgrowth from it, right? An evolution of something else. Okay. And this could be something you're working on just at home, in your private life, in your spiritual life, in your inner world, your self-development. It could be something you're working on at work, in your career. It could be an artistic thing. It could be that you're a writer. I'm getting a feeling still of a lot of writing. Or note-taking maybe, but I feel like there's some kind of, maybe you're an architect or something, you know what I mean? I think you are an architect in the kind of spiritual sense of the world, and a word, in that you are a creator of worlds. Okay? And this is the blueprint of the world that you're trying to create. Now, this could be completely abstract and philosophical and spiritually minded, that you're trying to create the blueprint so that you can build the future that you want. You can build the life that you want. Okay? And I think you're waiting for confirmation from Spirit that says what you want now, what you've kind of written down, the blueprints, the plans that you've put together, that you've drawn up, are now in perfect alignment with the spiritual will, with your own will, with the universe. There's resonance and harmony now. So you can execute, you can start building. You're not in the building phases yet. We're still in the kind of the planning and the being confident in our plans, right? In the recent past, we see a 2 of discs. I'm going to try to speed things along a little bit here. The 2 of discs in the past, this was your decision that you needed to change your life. You know, I think you made a conscious decision to do something, to change something, to work on these plans and blueprints, to build, to be the architect of your life and your future. So that was a conscious decision, maybe 2 years ago. I think that your life was kind of full of uncertainty. You know, we see a 5 of discs down here beneath everything. So this is something that's kind of subconscious. It's part of you. It's a motivating factor. So I think your life was not the way you would have built it yourself, right? I think you found yourself in an environment, in a position in your life that was not satisfying. Maybe there wasn't the stability, maybe there wasn't the structure, it was just too impermanent feeling, right? Everything is impermanent, sure. But maybe it just felt a little bit too rocky, a little bit too shaky, not very solid. Like it could just kind of crumble at any minute. So you wanted to build something that was more stable. You wanted to build something that would last. Something that looked more like what you always wanted, right? What you've been imagining or dreaming about. So I think there was a conscious effort to change things. And you started working on these plans, these ideas, what you're going to do, what you want your life to look like, right? And I think you've been running into obstacles in the form of getting confirmation, getting the feeling like things are just right. You know, that spiritual confirmation, that spiritual green light. I think we've been kind of running into problems that way. And the fact that, you know, you create a draft or a revision, but it just doesn't feel right. You don't get that confirmation feeling, right? You don't get the synchronicity. You don't get the the confirmation, excuse me, from the world around you. I'm kind of losing my voice now. There is almost an expectation that when this is just absolutely right and perfect, you will know. You will have that feeling from within you, the resonance from the world around you, that will tell you that this is absolutely perfect. But 7 of Wands, we haven't been getting that, right? We haven't been getting the feeling that this is perfect and that we can hit the gas. Okay, so I think you're starting to experience a little bit of fatigue, maybe a little bit of like writer's cramp, you know? Maybe we need to put the pen down for a minute and just kind of, stretch our fingers out. Because I feel like it's starting to weigh on you a little bit. Starting to get kind of the cramps, I almost feel like there's some back or shoulder issues with you. And that could be literally a metaphor for how focused you are, where you're working on this and kind of hyper-focused on this, that you don't always have an awareness of the passage of time, right? It could be that hours go by, days go by, and you need to kind of stretch and move around and go outside and take a break from this intense planning. But I think whatever you're doing, there's this sense of really needing to begin this now, because you've had that kind of epiphany, realization, this moment of clarity that things need to change. Since you've had that, I think you've been working and working and working on this because you're ready for that change. But it has to be perfect, and it has to be this 7 really has to become the 6. Now the 7 is imbalanced. 7 is not quite right. The 6 is perfection. Absolute balance and harmony and resonance. Perfect. Just everything falls right into place and it's just perfect. We're not there yet. We seem like there's always just kind of something not quite right. Something here is preventing us from getting that feeling like, yes, this is it. This is the moment. I'm getting confirmation. I feel it. I see it. We're ready right now. Right? So that's what we're looking for. And the longer that is delayed, I think the more we kind of stress out over it. 5 of Swords here. This could be talking about the need for a mental break, the need for a bit of a distraction, you know, because we're going from this 6, this crystal clear thinking and planning and blueprinting, right into a 5 of Swords. So it's kind of like we're not operating at our full efficiency, right? Maybe our mind is a little bit stressed out, that we're just not thinking as clearly as we were. So there could be a need for a little bit of a break. This is a lot of fire and a lot of air in this reading. I think the earth energy is the reason why we're doing this, right? We experience this uncertainty in our life, this moment, this epiphany that, hey, I don't like where I'm at. I need to change things. It's not very stable here where I am. So that was the kind of reason. That's what caused all of this. Now we're in this air and fire. It's all air and fire. Air, fire, air, fire, air, fire. Finally ending even with air. But this, if you look on the path of if you look at the overhead, which is still on, yeah. I think that camera's overheating, though. We'll probably lose it in a few minutes. But I want to show you this before we lose that camera. On the path of the serpent now, it looks like this 2 of Swords is the green light. Okay? So I want to make sure you can see that before, make sure it's in frame, yeah. Before we lose that camera, I want to make sure you see that. It looks like that's the green light. So I think that you're going to be getting that green light, that spiritual green light, the confirmation, the activation, the feeling, the certainty, the divine knowledge that this is perfect and ready to go. You know? That we can start taking action now, bring things back to the earth plane, and start putting this plan into action. Because too much in this air and fire energy, air and fire are both active elements. You're going to wear yourself out physically and mentally, right? On the path of the serpent, we start with the 8 of Wands. This is bursts of energy, right? And this can't be sustained. I think what you're trying to do is sustain this, but I think this is going to lead to the physical fatigue, right? Rider's cramp, right? Muscle aches. This is not, you can't operate, this is the red line, right? You can't just run your engine at red line forever, right? I mean, it's a red line for a reason, right? So it's this type of intensity is not meant to be sustained. It's not meant to be drawn out and extended, right? It's for short bursts. But I think that you're trying to extend this, and I mean, this is the fire energy that's really going to wear you down. It's going to be eventually exhausted, right? So I think we need to pull this back a little bit. The next card is air, of course, it's going to be air. 7 of Swords. It's in the position of your environment. I think this is your own mind telling you that you have to take a break, right? You're trying to hold fast to that central sword, trying to stay on task, stay focused. I've got to work. This is like your pen. You're gripping your pen tighter and tighter, even though your mind, it keeps telling you, go do something else, go do something else, take a break. But I feel like you won't. You know, or you don't want to. You're resisting that. This card's about resistance. You're resisting the impulse to put the pen down, go take a break. Okay. The next card, yeah, I'm trying to hurry up a little bit because I don't want the reading to go too long, and the overhead is going to overheat, I think, probably from all of this fire and air. The water energy. We said the water energy was kind of lacking, but this Ace of Cups is all of the water energy. It's in the position of what we don't want. So I think this is you not wanting anything to come in and extinguish this fire. You don't want anything to come in and wash this away, right? So I think you are trying to keep any kind of sentimentality or nostalgia or emotions in general. I think you're trying to keep them out of the picture because you don't want them to extinguish this fire, this intensity that you have. And this is any of the water. This is the good water, the bad water, the spiritual water, any of it. You're blocking this in yourself. You're blocking the water energy. And I think this is probably affecting your relationships. It's affecting your, your healing, your hydration, right? Your spiritual hydration. It's affecting your ability to perceive the real signs and synchronicities that you're looking for. Because you don't have this water, this healing, this reflective, this conductive water, right? Water is a great conductor. But we're blocking all of this out. It's okay, you want to block out some of the negative stuff, the pessimism, the lack of confidence, maybe some of the negative thinking and feeling and the doubts and all that kind of stuff. Sure, we want to kind of keep that away as much as possible. But to just completely turn off the tap for any of the water, because we don't want to let any bad water in, we're just not going to take any water at all. That seems a little counterproductive, right? I don't think you should stop drinking water because one or two droplets here might have a little dirt in them or something. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean you just stop drinking water altogether. Maybe you be careful where you get your water, but you don't just stop drinking water, right? That seems foolish. But I'm no doctor, okay, obviously. So I think this is a problem. I think we need to address the cutting off of all water energy in our life. And I think that is probably leading to more trouble than it is clarity. I think that's why we've deviated from this 6 of Swords over to a 5 of Swords. I think that's why we're not able to get from this 7 back to a 6. It's because I think we've completely cut this out. So if we can get over that obstacle and let the right kind of water in, draw our water from the proper wells, right? Source our water in a responsible way, I think we'll get the green light. The 2 of Swords. The decision has been made for you to act. This is your will and the divine will coming together. And it's like a tuning fork. You hit the tuning fork and both kind of things vibrate and there's harmony. I don't know how they work. But the same idea. And I think this is coming. I think the water energy is very important. We've got to source our water. We have to draw from the right wells. And then you'll get the green light. Then you'll find that this probably comes sooner rather than later, this confirmation. Right? This spiritual green light. So this is where we're headed, but we've got to get through this fire and this air by balancing it with a little bit of water. We got to take that nourishment, right? We still got the overhead. That's good. Let's do the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. Thank you, Frog, for bringing that over. Hopefully this is a major arcana card. That's all I'm going to say. It could be a nice water energy, a 6 of Cups. A 4 of Cups would be cool, 3, 2. I think as long as it's 6 or higher, or lower, however you want to look at it. 6 or lesser, I'd be happy. Or if it's a major arcana. No, it's the 5 of Discs again. The 5 of Discs again. Now, these are some people that are experiencing this 5 of Discs situation that we talked about, the uncertainty. The ground beneath us is not stable. I don't like the situation that I'm in. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel like it's going to last. There's too many variables, too much uncertainty. But they're walking right by the solution to that problem. They don't realize that the abundance that they need is right there. They're in this predicament, And the solution, the shelter that they're looking for is right in there, right? But they don't realize that. This is a symbol of how we're in this earth situation here that we talked about. We don't realize that the solution to it, the water that we need, is right here, right? It could be that with all of this air and fire, we're getting a little parched, getting a little thirsty. Maybe that's why I started to lose my voice. I needed the water. I needed the sip. That's tea, actually. There's water in it. And that's, I think, a very, very apt metaphor for what's going on here. I think that we're a little too dry. We need a little bit of that water. We need to realize that the solution to our problem, or at least part of the solution, maybe it's a temporary fix, but it's in the right direction, is to realize that the shelter is right there in front of us. We don't need to just kind of limp through the snow, or in this case, limp through the dry, arid desert, when there's a well right here, right? I don't need to go through this reading with a hoarse voice. Well, there's water right here, right? And it's not pure water. It's not pure divine spiritual water. It is taking a form. It's taking manifestation. It's tea. It's whatever color it is, brown, I guess. Tea colored. So that is, taking the water in whatever form that is available to us, right? If that's our spiritual activities, if that is our relationships, our bonds with our pets, our plants, our people, right? Whatever has that water energy in our life, it's not going to be pure divine spiritual water every time. Sometimes I like to drink, distilled water. But sometimes I like my water to have a little bit of personality, right? Put some tea in it, coffee sometimes, Sometimes I like sparkling water, change things up, a little excitement in our water. So I think it's the same kind of thing that's going on right now with you, okay? I think this is a really good confirmation. I think we know exactly how to get through this to get to that green light. And that's very important. We're going to do an extended. I think that's very important too. And if you would like to check that out, you can click on the link that's right here. And then you'll have access to all of the extended readings, not just for Scorpio, for every zodiac sign. For every reading that I do, there's an extended, okay? 99%, I don't want to say every time. Sometimes I miss one or the file gets corrupted or something, but this one should be okay, all right? This was your timeless reading. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me read for you. Please hit the like button, leave me a comment. Consider subscribing if you like the way I read, you like what we're doing on this channel. Please subscribe, all right? Thank you so much for letting me read for you.